It's wonderful to be a part of this initiative. And first of all, I thank Religion of Love. It's, I think, really a beautiful, title. And Sai Ke Sang. It's a wonderful thought. I think it's really. I think it's truly it's Sai Ke Sang is a constant aspiration and a constant reality at the same time. We are all with Sai, and we are always aspiring to be near and near to Sai and dear to him. So I think that's something which is a common motivation for all of us, and it's wonderful to be a part of this. So thanks a lot for that. Thanks a lot. And yes, thanks for those kind words of introduction. I was lucky, I would say, that Swami allowed me to be, in Parathi for a long duration, even after my studies. So I'm really grateful to him for that. I think that's, I was saying that an introduction of just being a Sai student is more than enough, because, that's something that we cherish. And, there's no need more than that. And I think, that was actually, that's something which I would like to share with you all also, because that was one particular aspiration of being a Sai student. I think that's when you see Swami, and you see Swami in Dharmakshetra, which is I come from Bombay, so having seen Swami at Dharmakshetra, and being visiting Parthi, there's a constant thought that if you are in Parthi and you are in Swami's college, you can have Swami 365 days a year. So I mean, that's something which is a very aspiring thing, and it's always good to have a such a nice aspiration, I think. So on that note, began my journey that I should also be a part of Swami's institute, and believe me, it was a tough journey. Okay, it was not a rosy bed that you just got into the college. There are some who are blessed with that, that they just get admission. I think it was a tough path for me. I was trying for many years to join Swami's the portals of the institutes, but I was not able to. And as we say in Hindi, maska lagao, so that kind of thing I was trying to do with Swami. I would visit Parthi, and I would try to, maska lagao. And that was, those were wonderful interactions, because the only thing that I had at that point in time while I was doing my graduation in Bombay, I would, pray to Swami that I want admission in your college. And I would have letters written to Swami, and on the envelope, I remember I would just mention the word admission, admission, admission. It was like a child, it was literally like a child that I was behaving at that time. But I think that was one aspiration that was at the top of my mind, that I should, be a student of Swami. And in that pursuit, I remember that all my summer vacations during vacation years, I would travel to Vrindavan, and I would stay put there, and have morning, evening Swami darshans, and then Swami would go back to Puttaparthi, and I would travel. Some of you all might remember there used to be a 1:30 bus. 1:30 p.m. there used to be a bus from Vrindavan to Parthi, and I would diligently get into that to go back to Parthi and again get on the mission admission. So it was wonderful, and I used to. I think I spent quite some time doing that. And once I remember, that I was asking Swami, Swami admission, admission. Swami was giving darshan, and there was. I had a letter. I gave the letter to Swami, and I said, Swami, I want admission in your college. And Swami took the letter, and he said, admission not in Vrindavan, admission in Puttaparthi. So he said, admission not in Vrindavan, admission in Puttaparthi. And so I was like, I was okay. I was, happy. And then when Swami went to Puttaparthi, I told you about the 1:30 bus, right? So I took that, and I was on that mission, that Swami has gone to Parthi. I need to ask him there. So I went to Parthi following Swami, and in Parthi, during the darshans, again, I was there ready with my envelope with the words admission and all written on it. And when Swami came, I said, Swami, admission. I didn't mention that you were referring to admission in Puttaparthi, but I did have that in my mind, And Swami took the letter and he said, admission not in Puttaparthi, admission in Prashanti Nilayam. And he pointed towards the college and he said that, it was wonderful. And I think the pursuit went on and on. Admission was not materializing. I was not becoming a part of Swami's college, but yes, the pursuit was on. And then I remember once I asked Swami again in Vrindavan and Swami admission. And Swami said, wait, wait. Now, this was a beautiful incident because why it was beautiful was because when Swami said, wait, wait, I was very elated. I was happy because there was not a no, no, there was a wait, wait, which means that, grace would be delayed, but it wouldn't be denied. So it was a positive thing for me, and I was happy, and I was staying with one lovely family at that time, and for that time when I was in Vrindavan. So I went back after darshan, and there were few guests and Sai devotees, other Sai devotees who had come there. So they asked me that, hey, we saw Swami was speaking to you. What was the conversation? So I mentioned to them that this. So the one person told me that, oh, that's great. Swami has told, wait, wait, just wait for a couple of days and then go to Puttaparthi and meet the dignitaries there, and they'll give you admission. Because Swami has told you like this. And I knew, of course, that this wouldn't be a practical approach, but so I just kept quiet. And then after 5 minutes, there was another person who came there, another devotee, and same question. What did Swami ask you? We heard you speak, Swami. And I said, yes. And Swami said, wait, wait, when I asked for admission. And this person said that, oh my goodness, that's a bad news. Because Swami's one wait would be one yuga. And you would have to wait for 2 yugas. So my mind was blown out. I mean that, just 5 minutes ago that there was someone who came and said that 2 days. And then there was another person who said 2 yugas. It was mind-boggling for me. So I thought, let me just take it coolly and just keep praying. And finally, it did materialize. It was 2 years. For those who might have a question, it happened. It materialized after 2 years. But yes, to materialize after 2 years, again, there was not a simple thing. It had to go through some other sadhana, I would say, or some other waiting that had to go, as Swami said, wait. So there was the year before I got, before I got admission, I was in Parthi, and I was praying very hard because it was a long ordeal for me to join Swami's institute. And so I remember it was the month of August, and I was sitting there in Parthi, and I was praying very hard to Swami that, Swami, please, I should become a part of your institute. Please bless me with admission. And very clearly, it's there right in front of my eyes. I can only say what I see. Is something. It's as clear as that. I was sitting there in Prashanti Nilayam in Kulwant Hall, and Swami was so beautifully, those darshans in those days. Swami would just keep gliding from Purna Chandra, and it was almost like he was walking in air. And I was lucky to get a first line in that day for darshan. And Swami came. He was coming by, and he was taking letters and all. So I got up with my letter and I said, Swami, admission, please. And so it was the month of August. The reason why I'm mentioning that is because of this answer which Swami gave. Swami said, admissions are already over. Admissions are over. So I was very dejected, believe me, I was very, very dejected. And I was literally, I was on my knees, and I was, giving the letter, and I was mentioning this. And Swami did take the letter. And then I was, kind of, sinking back into my seat is the best description I can give of the moment. I was literally sinking back, and Swami had just moved a little ahead, and he was standing next to me. And he was stretching out his hand and taking letters from others. And with a corner of the eye, he was just looking at me. and I was just thinking. And at that point in time, I don't know what force entered into me, but I just got up again and I said, Swami, if you will, then I will get admission in your college. I don't know what made me say that, but it something mustered me to get that courage, and I said this. And Swami, very lovingly, very compassionately, he looked at me and he said, "Admission not now, admission in June." He was so loving, that literally hair stands on my hand. It was really very very beautiful, and I got a ray of hope. I was very very happy, and I studied very hard, and for the admission test, and prayers were on, and it was really a wonderful journey at that point in time. And next year I got admission in Swami's college, and the month was May when the results were announced, and I was very very happy that I got admission. And I was I mean, sometimes in when you're still joyful, you get certain, your mind keeps working, right? So I just thinking that some said admission in June, and it's May itself, and I've got admission, and I was very very happy about it. And then with that, joy, I joined the college. The college begins on 1st of June every year, so as you're already aware of it. So when I joined Swami's college, there was this one rule that you need to submit all your documents, and that was the announcement that was made in the class, that in our classes, someone had come from the administration, and they mentioned that you need to submit your documents by the end of June. Only then will you be given confirmed admission, because the admission that is given to you now is provisional admission. It's subject to you giving your documents, right? And that's when it just, it was like a wonderful moment for me, because I realized personally that when Swami gives you something, and Swami gave the admission, it was confirmed admission that he gave. It was not a provisional admission. Now, when he gives something, he gives it in totality. And that was something which was just really, really beautiful for me. And the beauty came actually more because I got an option. I got a chance, actually, not an option. That's not the right word. I got an opportunity to speak in front of Swami in Vrindavan. And yes, dream come true. That's true, Nilimaji. That's true. I think that's exactly what happened, and it was a great fortune for me that I got an opportunity to narrate this incident in front of Swami in Vrindavan in April 2003. And Swami was so happy. Swami was there sitting on the Jula, and while I was speaking inside, right, it was he was so happy, and he was saying, yes, I remember, kind of, it was beautiful. It was really really beautiful. And that was the Vrindavan. Trai Vrindavan was such a special place also to narrate this incident, primarily because, as I was saying, that Vrindavan was where my prayer journeys, sort of were a large part of it was there. And in Vrindavan, if you have seen the darshans those days, it was a beautiful sight. Okay, I'll explain to you. There was this. I had this story. I had this visualization of a magic door. I'll tell you what that magic door is. In Vrindavan, when you're in the devotees, the student section is the first couple of blocks on the Gen side, and then you have the I think the VIP block, and then you have the normal blocks where devotees sit. And I was sitting in that block, and daily, after the darshans, it was such a beautiful sight, that darshans are over, and at the end of darshan, there's pin drop silence. It's absolute pin drop silence, and there's a strong energy at that point in time. There's a great amount of expectation that something is going to happen, and that expectation and that energy is coming from those first few blocks of the student, everyone is moving and everyone is expectantly looking towards the Ganesha, the Krishna statue, and the door behind it. It's all eyes are put on that. And then after some time, after around 10 minutes or so, there is the door opens. The door opens, and there's one student who comes with some glass or something, and he's walking in from far. You really can't see much, but he's coming in on the podium, and then there is some indication that he gives. All I'm saying, of course, as a student, you know what it is, but I'm purposely narrating it this way because from an eye of a devotee who's coming here and sitting from the fourth block, it's very not a very clear picture. But then there's some indication that he gives, and believe me, there's a great amount of energy, and there's just another door at the extreme corner, and that magically opens. It's all the way we are seeing from the fourth block, that the door just opens up like this, and the first set of students just get up and they're just running towards that door. And in a matter, I've even timed it. Okay, I've even timed it in a matter of 30 seconds. In a matter of 30 seconds, the first two blocks disappear. All have just ran, just disappeared behind that door. And I used to call it the magic door, because from where I was sitting, I couldn't see who is opening the door. And it was a wonderful moment. The door just magically opens, and everyone is rushed in. And after an hour and a half or so, after the Trai session, they're all coming out and they're all beaming with joy. They all it's like an aura around everyone. And I would interact very religiously. I would interact with all of our other students who had joined, asking them what happened and what is it like, and all that stuff. And it was so high energy. I remember those days. And for me, I would really hope and pray that one day I'm part of that group where I am also running ahead of the through the magic door, and seeing what is the magic that is happening on the other side of the door. So it was very wonderful for me to experience, to get that opportunity to be in Vrindavan, standing next to Swami in the Trai, and being able to give a speech. And I think even that was a moment of joy, primarily because me being on the overweight side, it was difficult. It was, although the door was magical, it was a struggle for me, right? So even though I would run through and go on the other side, a lot of my fellow classmates, batchmates, and across batches would outrun me. And by the time I would go on the other side, I knew that the main hall is full, right? And I didn't want to barge in and sit somewhere and all that. So I was sitting outside on the lawns, and this happened for quite a number of days. I was just sitting on the lawns, and this was in 2003, April 2003. And I was sitting there and not really competing with others. So there was a few days that happened, and I was just sitting outside. And all of a sudden, somebody happened to call out my name and said that, Neel, just come in. So I went inside, and there Swami was standing, and he said, this boy, sit down. And that's how I just sat there, wondering as to what exactly happened. So what had happened there was, in the main hall, Swami was asking about where is that boy, where is that Bombay boy, and he was describing how I look and all the things, and people were guessing out different names. And finally, one of the then research scholars, who's a professor there now in Parthi, he mentioned out, Swami, is it Neel? And Swami said, that boy. So then on an experimental basis, I was called in, to check whether he is the boy. And Swami said, yes, this boy only, sit down. So that's how I, got a chance to be inside Trai. And then, of course, I was sitting in Trai, and that's when Swami asked me to give a speech there. So I think it was kind of a very fascinating journey, very dream journey, as what someone was saying, a dream come true. I think it's really a dream come true, and something that was very cherishable. So I think being student itself was was an experience. Was a long drawn experience, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because one thing that I've learned is that every experience that we get with every experience that we go through rather with Swami is has got all these three parts. One is living for God. It's always a choice for us that what you want to choose, and that living for God is what defines our, like Swami says, living for God is true devotion. And I think that's that choice that we have. The second thing is when you're living with God, uh, you're getting constant lessons, constant learning. And I think one of the learnings that is there is the Swami is always there with you. He's always there with us. He's always having that eye on us. And I think that is living with God. And that's the true education. And that's what Swami says, living with God is true education. And while we are going through this process, the amount of thinking that we are doing about Swami, the amount of, you know, I won't say namasmarana in the sense of sitting and doing a japam or certain things of that sort, but it is a constant thought that is going on in our mind of Swami, where we are thinking of Swami constantly. I think prayers, and it's all an amalgamation of many different things, right? Japa, namasmarana, prayers, etc., etc. And that is nothing but living in God. We're always living in His presence. We're always living in that faith. And I think that living in God is what is true spirituality. And I think all the time, whether it was before admission or that process, or it was after, it was always that surrounding it, that aspect of living for God, living with God, and living in God. I think all the three play a role in every part of our experience with Swami. So that's something that I really enjoy, and I thought let me share it with you all today. So that's something which is something that I would love to say, because when I read this title Sai Ke Sang, I really, this is what came to my mind. The first thing that Sai Ke Sang is an aspiration, as I was mentioning. It's an aspiration, and it's a constant reality. We are always with Swami, and we are always aspiring to be with Swami. That's the beauty of it. Nearer and dearer to Swami. So I think that's the underlying religion of love. Love is the undercurrent in every aspect of our journey with Swami. So it's really beautiful. Sai Ke Sang, and love is an undercurrent for it. So that's something that I thought let me share it with you all. And wonderful. Thanks again for making me a part of this. And it's really wonderful to share with all the brothers and sisters here, and the wonderful senior devotees of Swami. It's really great to share this with you all. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Sai Ram. Sai Ram.